Peace and Black Power family, this is your host Raheem Shabazz, and I am here for another episode of Necessary Blackness Podcast. And today, family, we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to play a video from Frank Zanu, and after his video concludes, I am going to give my response. I want you to leave me a comment and let me know what's your thoughts. And continue to listen to Necessary Blackness Podcast and make sure you subscribe.
I wanted to know in Black American language, what is marriage?
Yeah.
What makes them marry? Why do they marry? Well, somebody will be like, what is he asking? Marriage is between human beings married.
Right.
It is true. But human beings today are not without culture. So in each culture in the world, and luckily for me, I have lived in many of them, in
Right.
Asia, in Europe, in America, and in Africa. You ask anybody from the Middle East, why do you marry? And he will tell you why. And it's not because I'm a human being or I'm a man, I have to marry a woman.
Right.
They will say, I marry because of my community, my culture. So I marry for my community, which is in the furthering of the doctrine that holds that community.
Right.
The religion,
Yep.
the culture, the history, the ethnicity. To keep it alive is the reason I marry to have children. If you ask the Africans today, before we became these artificial countries, when we marry, we say, I didn't marry a woman, I married a family.
Yeah.
So in Africa, two families get married.
Right.
In Korea, in Japan, and China, two families get married. That
yeah.
is why the matchmaking is easily accepted in those cultures.
Right.
So when the Japanese use the word kekon, which is marriage, ask them to tell you, what does it mean? It has deeper meaning they can explain to you than an Englishman would say marriage, which is the only word the African American can use to describe what they are doing.
Right.
So the institution of marriage is ripe and stronger if it is balanced on a culture. Because culture gives you a project.
Yeah.
So we, or African Americans, the blacks, adopted a Western, because they came here
Right.
and they watch how they do it, but they don't have any project for which they marry. Here, African Americans are the ones who say this thing very often, that they behave like crabs in a bucket, okay? Which means, inbuilt, the black man
Yeah.
is never happy to see another black man succeed. African Americans say all the time that they're confused why, when an African American opens a business, it's never patronized by other African Americans. They say it all the time.
Yeah.
So it's become an acceptable belief among the African Americans that they don't support each other.
Yeah.
So why would you think that a marriage for such a group would be successful? That has informed me why I'm getting married. So the question I started asking myself 2 weeks ago since you gave me this task is, wait a minute, African Americans were taken from the continent. They lost their language,
Yeah.
they lost their culture, ethnicity. The only thing they didn't lose is skin color.
Right.
So on what culture, on what doctrine do you marry? You are just simply copying something Western society asks you to do. So the question I'm asking now is, everybody in America, the salad bowl of America, they all are identified. So when the Chinese are marrying and giving birth, it's because they are promoting something.
Right.
What do blacks marry in America to promote?
That's a good question.
Such project never holds because the two people involved in it, they have no, what do we call it? Objective. When army go to war, they say, we have an objective.
Right.
And then they come back and say, the objective is, what is the objective for black marriage in America? Zero, none.
Peace and Black Power family. This is your host, Raheem Shabazz, and we are here for another episode of Necessary Blackness Podcast. And today, family, we're going to talk about this individual named Frank Nanzu, right? This individual is an African. He's from Benin, and he currently resides in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And Frank is not a Black American. Let's get that straight. And he has an anti-Black fixation on Black Americans, right? And he tries to position himself as authority on Black life, Black culture, and Black marriage. However, he has no lived experience. He's not from our lineage. He has no grounding. Yet, he tries to prescribe solutions for our community that he's not even a part of. Let me explain one thing, right? Maybe I'm wrong. And if I am, I stand corrected. Someone please correct me. Name one Black Foundation American that is in any one of the 54 countries, I think it's 54, on the continent of Africa that is over there dictating what the policies should be, what their cultural norms are, whether they even have a culture, that is trying to undermine them by making policies or anything over there where they're trying to dictate what their cultural norms or their lifestyle is. Just name one Black American that's over there that's doing that. But I can name several individuals that's over here that is non-Black American. They may be from the Caribbean, they may be from Africa, and they are undermining Black Americans. We have Myron Gaines, we have Candace Owens, and we have this individual, Frank, that is trying to do the same. Frank Zanu. That's a name that I want y'all to remember because he's an individual that is trying to gain ranks and have his little viral moment on social media. The video that he did titled Black Americans Shouldn't Marry One Another can easily be debunked. And you don't have to be no intellectual scholar to debunk anything that he says. And this is why it's very important that individuals such as myself, individuals such as the great Black Shark, and so many others, our sister ZZ, she pushed back on him. She got a hell of a podcast out where she's going in. Individuals such as that debunking some of this nonsense he's saying. And in regards to marriage, we know that marriage within cultural groups is normal all across the world and is strengthened by identity, resilience, and shared values. Every successful ethnic group marries within its community to not only to build legacy, but to build generational wealth. And Black Foundation Black Americans is no different, and there's no exception to us. Claiming that we have no objective is an erasure of centuries of struggle, institution building, cultural production, and political organizing. So when you hear individuals that come along and they want to say Black Americans only marry for Western norms and tax benefits, you want to speak about benefits? You benefit from the struggle that Black Americans fought, the hard-earned gains that Black Americans have. You over here reaping the benefits of it. You're not in Benin. You're in Bridgeport, Connecticut, my dude. So to say that Black Americans only marry for Western norms and tax benefit is being dishonest. Marriage as an institution predates Western society by thousands of years, Africa included. Black American marriage has historically been tied to survival, love, unity, and family building. Even when the law prohibited under slavery, we was jumping the broom. So to say that we only marry for tax benefits is a shallow talking point that ignores the social, emotional, cultural, and spiritual dimensions of what it is to be a foundation Black American, what it is to marry, what it is to have that spiritual union and that oneness with another individual. There's so many different things that you can debunk when he tries to pit Africa versus Black American. He's painting Africa as it's a utopia and Black America as being morally corrupt. Every region on the earth struggles with family instability, gender conflict. But if you really want to go there, in Africa, you have forced marriage. In Africa, you have more orphanage. In Africa, you have more fatherless child or children born out of wedlock. So let's be real. If we're going to talk, we're going to be honest, and you want to talk the talk, or we can do that. You know, because if America and Black Americans is so misguided, why is he living in the U.S. instead of uplifting his own homeland? Benefiting not only from Black American struggle and civil rights victory, but at the same time, you disrespecting Black American. That's contradiction and very telling of who you is as an individual. So I'm not going to give this man too much shine, but he has several videos that are going viral, and the reason they are because he's saying the most asinine shit you can say on the internet. Nobody's really agreeing with that, you know, except a few of his individuals that follow him. But it's dangerous because we know that he don't operate in a vacuum. We know that is right-wing, racist, white supremacist that is putting money behind this individual. And like I said, there's no widespread pattern of Black Americans moving to Africa today to lecture locals on how to run their society. Why the hell do you think you could come over here and do that? Why? I don't understand that. The obsession with Black Americans is crazy. But what I'm going to just say in closing, right? You can't compare 43 million foundation Black Americans in one country to 1.4 billion Africans across 54 nations as if there's a single monolithic entities, because it's not. The core problem is trying to erase our history and who we are. And that can't be done. That's why the delineation movement is gaining traction, is because individuals like this, and the only one that's speaking out against it is Black Americans. And rightfully so, you know, I don't want no one speaking for me. That's why anytime there's going to be a situation where someone's trying to denigrate the culture, oh, I'm a frontline warrior. I'm going to stand 10 toes down and I'm going to say something about it. I don't care who don't like it. But shout out to the great Black Shark and everybody else, man, that's going in on this subject matter. And I got a new setup. I got a new situation. Necessary Podcast is back, and we in the building. Make sure y'all continue to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can always catch me on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, and I'm getting ready to really be on TikTok. I'm gonna be doing a lot of TikTok lives. I can't go live on Instagram for 1 year, family. They have banned me for 1 year. I posted it. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Social media don't dictate my life. Most of the work that I do is outside of social media. I'm a little under the weather, but I needed to come on here and say what I had to say. And I want to close with peace and black power to the family. Peace.